Greenland is a place where nature still dictates the rules of human survival. This is the world's largest island, a massive expanse of white that feels like its own planet, tucked between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans. In early 2026, the global conversation has turned sharply toward this territory. But before we talk about strategy or resources, we have to talk about the land, a place of silence, ancient ice, and a culture that has mastered the art of living in the extremes. This is not just a landscape. It is a 4-billion-year-old record of Earth's history, currently standing at the center of a modern hustle that threatens to change its identity forever. If you look at a map, Greenland often appears as a giant white triangle, but its true scale is difficult to comprehend. Spanning over 2.1 million square kilometers, 3 times the size of Texas, it is the largest island on Earth that is not considered a continent. Yet, despite its massive footprint, it is one of the most sparsely populated places on the planet, with only about 56,000 residents. The reason for this empty space is simple: the ice. Nearly 80% of Greenland is buried under a massive permanent ice sheet. In the center of the island, this ice is 3 kilometers thick, so heavy that it has literally pushed the Earth underneath it down into a bowl shape. This frozen fortress holds roughly 10% of the world's fresh water, a staggering volume that, if melted, would raise global sea levels by over 7 meters. Life in this environment is a masterclass in resilience. There are virtually no roads connecting any of the island's 16 towns. Travel is conducted solely by air, sea, or dog sled. In the northern and eastern parts of the island, the Greenlandic sled dog remains a vital partner. These dogs are not pets. They are high-performance athletes capable of navigating frozen fjords where even modern snowmobiles might fail. The culture of the Greenlandic Inuit is built around this connection to the elements. For thousands of years, they have followed the rhythm of the seasons, moving inland in the summer to hunt caribou and returning to coastal settlements in winter to hunt seal and whale. It is a world where clean is an understatement. With almost no factories or traffic, the air and water are so pure that locals drink directly from natural streams without a second thought. But the silence of the Arctic is being interrupted by a new, colder calculation. As global temperatures rise, the ice that has protected Greenland for millennia is retreating, exposing a geological treasure chest. Greenland is home to what many call the Silicon Valley of minerals. Beneath the tundra lie some of the world's largest deposits of rare earth elements, materials like neodymium and praseodymium that are essential for everything from smartphone batteries to the high-tech magnets in F-35 fighter jets. For years, the world relied on a systemic glitch where one power, China, controlled nearly 90% of the supply. Now, in 2026, the hustle for Greenland's resources has become a matter of national security for the West. The economic potential is staggering. Deposits like Kvanefjeld and Tanbreez in the south are among the largest on the planet, estimated to hold over 38 million tons of rare earth oxides. Yet, this potential comes with a great reset of its own. Extracting these minerals often means dealing with uranium co-products, which has sparked intense debate among the local population. Many Greenlanders see mining as the only path to total economic independence from Denmark, while others fear it will destroy the very environment that defines their soul. It is a $10 trillion gamble where the stakes are not just money, but the survival of a traditional way of life. The geography itself is also shifting the global board. As the Arctic ice melts, new shipping routes like the Northwest Passage are becoming viable, cutting weeks off the journey between Europe and Asia. Greenland sits at the toll booth of these new Suez canals of the north. Its position is no longer a backwater landmass, but a strategic citadel. This is why we are seeing the rise of the Don-roe Doctrine, where the island is viewed as a critical shield against foreign influence in the Western Hemisphere. The bustle of international law is being tested here, as the world's strongest powers look at Greenland's ice-free fjords as the future ports of a new global economy. Yet, for the people in Nuuk, the capital, the perspective is different. They live in a city where colorful wooden houses, originally painted red for businesses, yellow for hospitals, and blue for fish factories, contrast against the stark white of the mountains. They are watching the world's sudden interest in their home with a mix of opportunity and caution. They know that while the ice is getting thinner, the pressure from the outside world is getting heavier. The melting ice is a paradox. It makes the minerals easier to reach, but it makes the traditional sea ice, the highway of the hunter, dangerous and unstable. As we stand in 2026, Greenland is no longer just a distant land of ice. It is the focal point of a changing world. The melting glaciers are revealing a landscape that is as valuable as it is fragile, forcing a conversation between ancient traditions and modern demands. Whether this leads to a new era of global energy security or a permanent shift in the Arctic's identity, the decisions made here will be felt far beyond these frozen shores. The ice is retreating, and in its place, a new story of the North is beginning to unfold. If you found this deep dive helpful, consider subscribing to stay updated as we continue to track the shifts in our global landscape.